Hey everybody, this is Chewy Plays Nintendo, and today I'm going to be showing off an indie game called Tumbleseed. So this game actually came out pretty early in the Switch's lifespan. I think it was something like maybe that May or something, May 2017, so just a couple months after. But you play as, you see that little character with the A button? You play as that little character, which I think is just called Tumbleseed. And then let me actually see. So I'm trying to remember. Originally, when this game came out, there were only a few options on this menu. There was Adventure, the Daily Challenge. I don't know if it had Weekly Challenge, and I don't know if it had Two-Player Battle. That's pretty neat. I didn't ever see that. I don't think I've seen that up until now. So later, after this game was deemed way too difficult, they added this little forest stage, a jungle stage, a desert stage, and of course a snow stage. And it was mostly to get to know a little bit more of, I guess, just the sections in the game so people could learn them and know how to address them better. There's a little tutorial in case you don't know how to play. But yeah, let's go ahead and start with this little forest stage. There were 3 quests that I have already completed, but here's the thing about this game. You have control with the left stick, you control up and down this left side. Right stick, you control up and down the right side. So I don't know if you all ever played, there's a little arcade game called Ice Cold Beer, but the mechanics are based off of this game. And when you walk into like a little speech bubble, you'll talk to somebody and they'll tell you about all of these secret things. You must plant yourself atop the peak. So the goal is to get this seed all the way to the very top of the mountain. And so, yeah, like I said, I've already kind of completed... Oh, I don't know what just happened. I'm turning invisible, not invisible. There are a lot of little powers that you can get. Let's see, if I talk to this guy, maybe he'll say something. Well done. See if your thorn strategy helps you climb up the mountain. Here's another thing that might help. It's the freeloader aura. Plant anything for free when you're down to 1 heart. Okay, so we got a little thing. Oh, did I? Oh, yeah, I want that. Alright, so we're gonna try this new power. So, I don't know if you can see it, but on the left-hand side on the little bar, there's a little white crystal with a tally mark next to it. That shows that I can plant 1 thing. That tells me how many... You need crystals to plant things. I'll show you where you plant them. And on the right of my bar, I have 3 hearts. So I have 3 hearts to work with. And let me see... Yeah, if I click A, I can pick through these different powers. And this power, you'll get like a little thorn. You get 1 for each crystal that you plant. This power, anytime you go over these little sections, you'll get 1 point toward a crystal. I think you need 3 or 4 of these to get a new crystal. And then this one, you'll get a heart if you plant enough crystals. So here's a little crystal that I'm going to run into. I actually don't want to use the heart just yet. I'm going to use this crystal bearing thing. So yeah, this game is pretty difficult because, like I said, I guess it's a very indirect way of controlling your character, but once you roll over these, you'll plant something. Notice I got a little mark. I'm filled in a little bit more, and I think 1 more and I'll get a couple crystals. Yeah, so here we go. We've got 4 crystals to work with now. We'll get a 5th right here. But you want to avoid these black dots. You want to avoid the enemies. And I'm going to actually use this thorn crystal right now to give myself a little thorn and protect myself. Put 1 here too. And then 1 here. This is a flag seed, so it's a pretty basic one, but if you plant 1, that'll be your next checkpoint if you were to die. You wouldn't go all the way to the bottom, and depending on how far you fall, you actually lose more hearts. I almost fell into that hole. I'm gonna actually ignore that little planting area and just keep climbing up. Since I feel pretty good right now, I might start trying to collect hearts. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the heart option, And then usually midway, you'll reach these sections where you have the option to get another power. And it'll kind of tell you the names of the powers. So you've got the long spore, and you've got the star seed. And up here, if you walk up to these people, you'll be able to practice. Oh yeah, if I go into this little shiny spot, I'll get to practice with the star seed. I've got to avoid these enemies. They usually put some enemies that don't bother you too much in here, but you can see kind of what happens. And if you die in this area, it doesn't really matter. So I've got a star seed. It looks like I can just run through these enemies and I kill them. But yeah, like I said, if you fall into these holes, nothing really happens. You don't lose a life or anything. This is just, like I said, a little practice section for you to try these things out. The star seed, I guess these things get more nifty the higher up you go, because you have to really manage your inventory of crystals. So I got the star seed. I don't know if I'm going to use it quite yet. For now, I think I will collect more crystals. These guys are a little bit annoying. If you run into their path, they will jet toward you and do some damage if they hit you. So let's go ahead, collect a couple more crystals, and now that I have quite a bit, I want to go back to that heart one and collect some more hearts. And yeah, I liked this little, I don't know, the game's pretty neat. There's a lot of cool little creatures that you're avoiding. The original Ice Cold Beer, they're only really, the obstacles are the holes that you fall into. And granted, the holes are a lot closer together in that game. It's harder in that sense, but they've upped the difficulty with having like enemies in these boards with you. So there we go. On the right, you can see I've got one extra heart there. So I think if I plant 4 seeds, I'm getting pretty high up though, so I'm gonna go ahead and plant another flag. I just saw this crystal here on the left, so we're gonna grab that real quick. So yeah, just in case I fall into a hole, I will end up back where I want to be. And as you get further in this game, like I said, this is just kind of the base level of it, but as you get further, it's going to get more difficult. There's going to be more holes, more stronger enemies. I'm going to do one more of these little spikes, and we're going to go ahead, and once we reach the top, we get bounced up to the next section. And here, just another little town. You can see all the little townspeople hanging out, and all of these buildings. You can usually walk in and see what people have to say. Shh, quiet down, sheesh. I prefer peace and quiet. I wish I'd landed in the temple. It's so peaceful in there. So, just little seeds doing their thing. Let's see, usually you have a free little mark, so you can, I don't know, I guess have your crystals go towards something. I'm going to go up here and see the potion shop. This is where you can usually buy some special powers. I don't have enough money for anything, so we're going to go ahead and leave. And then I'm going to avoid this little section. If you roll over that little block there, you'll spin the roulette wheel and have a chance at a prize. I've only ever won anything once, so I don't ever do it anymore, because I've tried getting things like with lots of crystals, but I essentially got nowhere. So these little guys are annoying because they follow you around, chase you. See, he's not leaving me alone. So, but if you pop them, you get a little crystal out of it, so it's kind of worth losing one thing. Yeah, so let's go ahead and keep climbing up. I think I'm gonna get another little thorn since I lost one, and then I'm gonna go back to collecting crystals. Yeah, so this game takes like a lot of practice to really learn to maneuver your character, and I don't know, there are a lot of things it throws at you to make things more challenging, and like I said, I'm in the forest section. They added these sections so you can learn each one. So this is the first section in adventure mode when you start playing the game, and it gets harder each one you go up. Let's see, we're gonna go ahead, we're just collecting crystals at this point. I think I'll leave a flag seed up here, just in case we fall into a hole. I'm gonna switch over to this. There we go. Get rid of that guy. And then I'll turn into my thorn guy, because I'm gonna lose another thorn. But yeah, here's a special little eyeball room where you can jump in and you'll get a chance to get another power. So here we've got the cloak fruit, which I really like. The snakes can get annoying, and the slow seed, which is also pretty good, but I kind of prefer the cloak fruit. Alright, I've got a lot of crystals now. Let's go ahead and move up. I placed a flag, right? Just below here. Yeah, I did. So let's go ahead and get another couple of crystals. Oh. I have 5 hearts now. Alright, so here, I don't really need the cloak fruit quite yet. I have been interested to see like how many of these thorns I can have at once, and I see an enemy coming up, so I might as well start working for a thorn. Another little thing that you'll notice in this game is, you see that spot in the corner over there? It's got some blue lights in it. That's going to tell you that it's actually going to blow up if you get too close. So I'm going to see if it'll blow up this enemy. Oh, I didn't time it well enough. That is alright. So I'm going to go ahead and move up a little quicker, since I feel like I've told you in general how this game works. Now you can kind of see it played out. And one thing the developers kind of ran into, and made them want to update this game with like a much easier barrier of entry, or at least like simplifying it a little bit so people could handle it, is they noticed like a lot of people thought the only way to really win was to kind of speed run your way through this. But I don't know, I guess they intended people to kind of take their time, slow down a little bit. Let's see, I'm gonna get another little thorn. Yeah, so I've got 5 thorns here. But yeah, you want to really take your time. Be sure to get whatever powers you need from these areas. I think I do a little bit of a boss fight here. And so the boss fights are pretty interesting. They will, sorry about my birds, they are going crazy. So the boss fights, you'll kind of land on these little enemies will pop up, of course, and you want to hold your spot on these until they, I guess, power that little diamond up top, and more enemies will start to pop up. Let's see, I'm gonna go down this way. Alright, so I want to get as many of these things as possible, so I can stand here and these enemies won't be able to hurt me when they get closer. Yeah, so there you go, I got a little bit of protection here. And then, yeah, so I've beat that boss. Like I said, this is the easiest stage. It's not too difficult to pass, but once you're done, you just get sent straight back up, and that's it. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this game. It's pretty cool. It's pretty tough, like I said, but with these little bonus levels here, it is a lot easier to make your way through the game and learn how it's played. So, yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe.